your two dads show. Ooh, JJ and Deacon, they're the ones in the know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us, tomorrow's news today. This morning.
News like one of the three leading presidential candidates for the United States of America had a worm eat his brain. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm JJ. That's Dave. This is Deacon. We are your two dads. I'm JJ Wormwood this morning. I thought that was fun. Now I'm going to put this back up here so that you know that you can come to rumble.com/JJW Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can drink coffee and talk with some old geezers who don't know what they're talking about, and usually start your day pretty good. It's pretty good. I have to say,
I don't know who you're talking to every
I'm not
morning,
sure. I'm not
Dave
sure.
and I are solving the world's problems over here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Right.
If they would just listen to the three of us, if the
Honestly,
world would just watch our show, we have the answers. Hello.
This is like the key to the test of life right here. It's right there on the desk next to the test. Just, ask us. We got all the answers.
Yeah, we know.
All of them.
Well, you can ask us about AI and robots and future doom apocalypse Earth. And do we want that? And guess what? We have the answers for you. And we might even tell you later today.
I've got some good AI stories. I was like, JJ, I like this.
Yeah, I like you're on a theme. All right.
Update real quick. Dave, were you guys okay yesterday?
Yeah. It was a lot of bark, no bite.
Okay.
How about you all?
We had some pretty nasty straight line winds. I was out of power here because I went off during the show. I was out of power here for about 5 hours yesterday. And we had some straight
5 hours
line
of beeping?
winds. Of what?
When did the beeping stop?
About 4.5 hours in. It went from beep, 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 beep to a beep. And I was like, nope, we ain't having this. I was pressing buttons and yanking cords. I had the scissors.
All right, radio's off. The radio's just off.
I don't care anymore. That really was. It was, and I apologize for my outburst because it didn't look like I was on. It didn't look like I was on. It looked like I was just sitting there, in the gray, and that beeping.
Man, yeah, you were coming through though. That's the thing.
We saw the vein in your head popping out.
Yeah,
oh my God,
that was a bad outburst, and I apologize.
Your doctor should have called into the show and diagnosed you.
Southern and Middle Tennessee got hit pretty bad. I know one person died. They got hit pretty bad around through Nashville and between Clarksville and Murfreesboro, and even down through Knoxville and Southern Tennessee. And I know Southern Illinois got hit a little harder than we did. But I've lived in our area my entire life. We live right next to the giant Kentucky Lake and the giant Barkley Lake. Kentucky Lake is the second largest man-made lake east of the Mississippi, and we've got the 5 or 6 rivers, the Mississippi, the Ohio, the Cumberland, the Tennessee, all these different rivers. And I've always said that when storm systems move into our area, they do this around us, around the rivers. They will go above us. Above us will always get really bad, and below us will always get really bad.
Right.
The Ohio is our shield.
Adjacent. Yeah, it's adjacent to the river or to those big lakes. The weather, the bad stuff kind of goes around us most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
If it comes from the south, we're going to get it. But if it comes from the west,
from
the Ohio River,
from the south, from Texas and down through there, it's going to hit us hard. But if it's following the jet stream and coming down through South Dakota and that way, it's probably going to circle around us here in Western Kentucky. It's really weird. It's just really weird.
It has to do with the weather. The temperature coming off of the river creates like a shield. If you will, or a curtain.
That's interesting.
You can follow it on any river current.
All right. Well, a less studied and less practiced television man than myself might not be able to segue into some river weather subject into a presidential candidate.
It looks like a worm. The river looks kind of wormy the way it's shaped.
Yeah, wormy. That's me.
The worm of the river. the wormer clients.
All right. Wormer. Yeah. Oh, that's good. You can get there. I think you can get there. It was colder, but it's warmer. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, one of your three presidential candidates. I don't know if you know you have three. You have three. You have the Democrat, and you have the Republican, and then you have the third guy who is like everybody else. Everybody that's like those first two are terrible. Let's try a Kennedy. Well, we have a Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's running for president, and he recently said that a doctor thought a spot in his scans involved a worm that got into his brain and ate a portion of it and then died. One of our presidential candidates has had some of his...
No. There's a word you're missing there, JJ. Thought.
Oh, well, yeah.
So is it there or not? Is it there or not?
Well, what are we supposed to do? Crack open his melon and look for our worm carcass?
Well, what other choice? I mean, yeah, that's option A. Let's figure out some more.
He further said, I offered to eat 5 more brainworms and then still beat President Trump and President Biden in a debate. It's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good. He suffered memory loss and brain. Yeah,
that was good.
RFK Jr. This is serious though. RFK Jr. suffered memory loss and brain fog in 2010, according to the New York Times, which reported that Kennedy said in a 2012 deposition the doctors had seen a dark spot in brain scans and thought there was a tumor, but another doctor thought the area viewed in the scans was caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then died. During the interview with the Times, Kennedy indicated he had recovered from memory loss and mental fog and does not suffer after effects from the parasite, which did not necessitate treatment.
We can't say it's a parasite. You can't even say it's a worm because you don't know.
Can we? What was the thing, and how did he contract it?
Oh, who knows? I don't know. I don't know.
You can get parasites from swimming in lakes.
For sure.
Oh yeah. There was those neti pots that people will use and put in their nose and let it go out the other side. There were people that it was getting that brain amoeba or whatnot, that deadly one, from using they wouldn't clean them good enough.
Yeah, I always boiled my water first, put it in there, and then while it was still hot, no,
I can't do that.
Gotta let it cool down. Let it cool down.
Freaks me.
I haven't done it.
Have you ever heard of brainworms aside from Star Trek: Wrath of Khan? Like, I didn't think that was a real thing.
There is Beastmaster.
Death Guards.
Dude, I just watched that movie like 2 years ago. I saw it was on Amazon and I was like, oh my God, Beastmaster. I'm watching this. And I got about 45 minutes in and I thought, this is the worst crap I've ever seen in my life. Why did I like this? And then I thought,
why are you 40 minutes into watching a half-naked man wearing a loincloth?
You know why? Because I wanted to see the ferrets. I wanted to see the ferrets. But
I was freaked out by
that movie. It would be good today.
Yeah, just make it less rapey.
Yeah, make it a lot less rapey. Yeah, it might be.
If you do it, starts making out with the girl on the beach that you just met.
You remember who the bad guy was? I didn't realize it until I watched it again. It's a young Rip Torn.
Oh yeah.
Bad guy.
Oh really?
Yeah. Rip Torn was bad. I was like, oh my God. Great. Yeah,
listen,
he was really scary.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
If you can dodge a wrench, it's the best line ever. Best line ever.
All right.
So I just wanted to point out, I'm glad that we're through this brainworm story, because one of my legitimate fears, I don't know if there's a word for it, but one of my legitimate fears, and Ashley knows this, is something crawling into my ear while I'm asleep. You hear those stories about people that had a cockroach or a freaking spider or something in their ear. That every morning, I have a routine I go through every morning, and every morning in the bathroom, I get out 2 Q-tips and clean my ears every single morning, because that's a fear of mine. I'm very OCD about my ears, the inside of my ears. So
how interesting.
Worms, that was freaking me out when you made that the store. I logged in and saw that as your little screen, and I was like, "Geez, JJ."
It would be ear entomophobia.
Say it again.
Ear entomophobia.
Ear entima. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like
bug
ENT.
Yeah,
ear entomophobia.
Bug
okay.
phobia.
Oh boy.
I suffer from that.
Or intima
All right.
phobia.
I guess.
Dude, I just created a scientific word.
So, speaking of presidential candidates that may have had some of the brain eaten, Joe Biden said yesterday that he has had the best job of creating jobs and lowering inflation ever. He says it was 9% when he came into office. Let's listen to President Joe Biden.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers. And you're aware of many of these, of course. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations.
Look at his face.
Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape economically. They think the nation's not in good shape, but they're personally in good shape. The polling data has been wrong all along. How many, you guys do a poll with CNN, how many folks you have?
Everybody's wrong. You're wrong. She's
Look at this
wrong.
poll. It says
Everybody's
I'm okay.
wrong. Do you know why? you see now why society has turned in our lifetime. Us three were taught to stand up for our mistakes. If we made a mistake, to stand up, and no one wants to take accountability for anything anymore. And I'm not expecting him to do, but good God Almighty, don't pee on my head and try to explain that it's rain.
Now he is going to go on to just bold-faced lie.
Have to call to get one response. The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad, the folks that, we've created more jobs. We've made a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw, the combination of the inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people with good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available. But let me say it this way. When I started this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse of the economy. We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
The GDP last week was far short of
I did a spit take. You didn't even drink anything.
Look, GDP is still growing. Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And one of the reasons why people feel good about it not being as strong as it was before is they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to.
All right, Joe.
I was starting to say, please stop that, because the brain worm in my head is starting to reproduce the longer I listen to that.
He says it was 9% when I came into our office, 9%. But, the CPI inflation reading for January 2021, when Biden was sworn in, and in December 2020, were both 1.4%. So Joe Biden is off slightly by 9%, by 7.5% inflation. He's slightly wrong, slightly mistaken. But,
he's almost never wrong, though. Every story he says sounds like it's pretty. Corn Pop was eaten by his uncle's cannibal friends. Or
why
something?
are Democrats voting for this, dude? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't want to talk about George Biden.
All right, that's enough. Yeah, no comment from Dan. George
Just
Biden, did you say?
Thank you. I was wondering if anybody would catch that.
However, related to President Biden, we talked yesterday. Deke, you didn't talk yesterday, but yesterday we talked a little bit about the arms shipment that was delayed to Israel. The Biden administration had secretly crafted a ceasefire agreement with Hamas and didn't really clue Israel in on it. And then they were like, hey, Israel, there's a ceasefire agreement. And Israel was like, no, we're killing these Hamas guys. So in an effort to pressure our ally to not kill terrorists, and I'm not advocating for Israel. I don't care what Israel does. But Joe Biden delayed a shipment of arms as a means to force Israel to comply with his policy agenda of, I don't know, being weak as hell. Israel says the pause in U.S. weapons shipment could thwart negotiations for hostages and the ceasefire. So our president, who delayed weapons to force a ceasefire, may have further endangered negotiations for hostages and any prospect of a ceasefire. What do you guys think about that? Any thoughts whatsoever?
Can I read you
something? Okay.
What do you got? A little history lesson, and this is the truth. You can go and look all this up. You are saying no, this is not. This come from this guy on X, and I was reading his post. This guy is he's not a very religious man, but he some of the stuff he says is true on the history, and it came through. Let me just read you what he says.
Sure.
In part of this, when he was talking, he says, in reality, there has never been a Palestinian state. Never. The term Palestine was a general name for the area and actually derives from the Philistines, who originated in the East Mediterranean and invaded the region during the 11th and 12th centuries BC. It's a region in the Middle East that is, ironically, more directly tied to the ancestors of the Jews and current-day Israel. In all, the nations that have occupied the region over the years have included the Kingdom of Israel, the kingdoms of Israel and Judea, the Babylonian Empire, the Persian Empire, Alexander the Great, the Seleucid Empire, the Hasmonean Empire, the Roman Empire, the Sassanids, the Empire by Byzantine Empire, the Umayyad, the Fatid Empire, the Christian Kingdom of Jerusalem, the Ayyubid Empire, the Islamic State of the Mamluks of Egypt, the Ottoman Empire, the British Mandate, and now Israel. What's missing? A Palestine. None of these were ever a Palestinian state. There has never been people known as Palestinians, nor have there ever been a birthright nation to call home. And he's right. Look up the history. You will see that is a general term that's almost, I hate to say it this way, but because of my business, it's a marketing term.
Right.
Terrorist. Yeah. We're battling terrorists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are. And look, the people that are, I mean, there are clearly people who identify as Palestinian people now more than anything else. You know, they think they're Palestinians. Okay. And, you know, and
that's fine.
That's fine.
And that's fine. But don't try to argue that you've belonged to this land and it's yours. Right. You need to look some history up.
I mean, it's no different. It's not that much different than if I went out and like over here into a rural place and started my own town called JJ-istan, and then I had kids and they lived there, and then like 50 years from now, everybody's like, we're JJ-istanians, and this has been always our home. Well, yeah, you were born here, but
dude, I'm kind of down with this idea. After the show, we need to talk. That's pretty.
Start our own country. Start our not only no, we're not starting our own country. We can start our own ethnicity. And then we can make the UN fight on our behalf to establish a country for us.
Jeez, you're always really good at floating these ideas out into the ether that really don't need to be floating out into the ether.
I just like to add some chaos to reality.
Yeah, that's what you are, chaos.
All right. I mean, like there is a history of that region, and it is contested. That history in that region is contested. Not only if you have a religious view, but if you have a secular view, but you have some fidelity to the written and recorded history.
You're right. And I was trying to explain to my kids one day when Alex was asking about it, and we were having a conversation, and I was showing him on a map where the Gaza Strip was on a map, so he knew. And I was like, now look at this from a shipment standpoint. You know, you're bringing in ships all the time. There wasn't just one city. There's all cities all around this place forever. And that was that was the end. So every road that went through China up into, the Tartarian Empire, Russia, whatever you want to call, all of that started there, and all of it ended there. So I said, that's why this piece of land has been so fought over since the beginning of humans.
It's a trade hub. It's a route into it's a route for Eastern goods to get into Europe, and for Europeans to get into Asia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Okay.
And people are overlooking. I mean, it's been
Dave,
ours.
Any thoughts on the historical warfare of the region?
It is an area that is predominantly desert until you get near water. And when you get near water, you have land that's viable, land that's important, land that is life. This has been fought over for thousands of years.
You can't overstate how important the need for drinking water is. You can't drink seawater.
Correct.
You can drink river water, So
maybe,
but the seawater can filter through the land. It can make the coastal region be able to grow food and produce. So resources are tight in that area. So there's there's limited resources, there's going to be conflict.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
and then
that's what three white guys have to say about Palestinian Israel. Yeah.
Add the faith aspect to it, and it's even worse.
Yeah. That amplifies it by an nth degree.
All right. Can we talk about some fun stuff, please?
No, we can't.
Please.
I have one more bad story. I'm sorry. I've got one more bad story that I got to share.
All right.
This is just terrible. I'm sorry, but I wanted to talk about it because I saw it come through the AP this morning. This is just a terrible story.
All right.
Florida deputies who fatally shot a U.S. airman burst into the wrong apartment.
Oh.
This is 24-year-old. I can't remember his name. Senior Airman Roger Fortson. 23 years old. He was based at Special Operations Wing at Hurlburt Field. He was in his apartment in Fort Walton Beach. He was actually on a FaceTime call with a woman, and he heard somebody knock. He was in his bedroom, and he heard somebody knock on the door, and he went to the door and asked who it was, and no one answered. So he went back into his bedroom, and then he heard louder knocks on his door.
Really?
So him being an Air Force, a military man, he got out his pistol and walked into the living room, still on the FaceTime call. This is what this woman has reported. She heard the whole thing. And as soon as he walked into the living room with the pistol in his hand, the law enforcement burst through the door, saw he was holding a pistol, and shot him 6 times. She heard him say, "I can't breathe." And then he died at the hospital. This is just a terrible story. You don't want to point fingers, but this is terrible, man.
That is so awful. And the police were wrong. And this is what happens when you make a mistake, I got the address wrong. I knocked on the wrong door. And we have a happenstance of circumstances here where he arms himself because he thinks he's being, perhaps burgled.
If somebody knocked on my door and I went and asked who it was and nobody answered, and then I heard them knock louder, you ain't a kidding. I'm grabbing the freaking baseball bat or some kind of weapon and coming up to the door. You not kidding. I'm not. I'd have been shot too.
Yeah. Well, that's awful. That is sad. That is sad. And the police department's responsible, and there's going to be must be a lawsuit. This they're going to have to be and they need more training. I mean, what happened?
I don't want to put myself in the law enforcement's position because I've never been in a position where I've had somebody. I don't know. I've never been in that position. I can sure speculate.
Training is probably accurate. Wrong door. I mean, if you are going to an individual's house, well, hold on. It's a big group that's coming there, and they're coming there with all the power behind them, and they're ready to arrest this individual.
A little bit juiced up on adrenaline.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you see the individual you think you're looking for holding a weapon, not at night, you're going to jump. I mean, that's the way the training, unfortunately,
But it's at
is.
night because they
It's
went
at night.
late
They
at
know
night.
they're going to be home.
They partially caused the problem. Yeah.
Most of the ones I see, they do real early in the morning. They do like 5 a.m., 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning because people are there at the house.
I was invited to a situation room, and they were going to be doing like multi houses all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And they just wanted a chaplain there. So a huge ice storm came in. I'm like, guys, I can't. And they said, that's okay. The bad guys will be at home. And everything went flawlessly. Went flawlessly. They were scared because they knew there were kids there and everything.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect bust of some really, really bad individuals.
Look, it is a tough job, right? And to a certain degree, we should be, grateful for law enforcement officers that are willing to take on a tough job of chasing down bad guys and putting themselves in danger for this.
They screwed up.
I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But
they
also when they F up, like, we can't allow this. So, and like,
there needs to be huge ramifications anytime there's a screw up on law enforcement.
Yeah.
I mean, just the ramifications have to be, unfortunately, they need to be high so that there is no screw up. So there are no screw ups in the future.
I agree because I look at law enforcement as you should be setting the example that you should be the example. When I look to a law enforcement guy, I shouldn't see him turn on his lights to go through the red light and then pull into the 5-star to get his coffee like I did one time. That's an abuse of power. You should be an example to me instead of thinking, and I always made this joke. I said, there are too many law enforcement officers that think they are the law instead of they enforce the law. There's too many that think they are the law, and they'll say that I'm the law. No, you're not. You enforce the law. So this is terrible. I don't want to place, I don't want to badmouth anybody. Right, I respect the law enforcement, but there's some in law enforcement that I don't respect.
They screwed up. They had the wrong place. They screwed up.
And then when you listen, and they're in the wrong place, but when you open that door and there's a guy with a gun in the middle of the room, I mean, like,
right? I know. What are you going to do? How are you going to react? But it looks like how us three would react would be a lot different if we went through all kinds of freaking training for that certain situation.
And I'm not. I mean. It's clearly a mistake. A lot of this has, anyway, not excusing it. I'm just saying that, like, once the one mistake has been made, there's a sequence of events that follow that are rational, but the wrong door is a big effing problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge.
I got one more before we get to some fun stuff. Right. This one just came through yesterday, and I've been wanting to keep everybody's eyes on this because it affected me years ago when this came out because I work in radio, but they're just kind of passed it through this time. And that's the net neutrality crap. All right. And they passed that. They redid the net neutrality and like April the 29th, April the 25th, they voted to restore the net neutrality rules. And there was some concerns, and I voiced those on here that the way that it was written was going to, hey, you're a gamer. Oh, well, we're going to charge you a little more so that you can have some stable speed. Oh, you're a podcaster. Well, we're going to charge you a little more so to make sure that you're right. That they released the final text yesterday and they fixed that loophole, what everyone was concerned about. So basically, under the draft version of the rules, the FCC would have used a case-by-case approach to determine whether specific implementation of what is called positive discrimination would harm consumers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, did you like that word? Under the original plan, there was no way to predict which kinds of fast lanes the FCC might ultimately find to violate the no throttling rule. Basically, it allowed you to not create a fast lane, but you could slow shit down. Yeah. So you couldn't speed it up, but you could slow everybody else down.
Instead of calling it crap, we'll call it recycled byproducts.
Recycled byproducts.
Positive
just
discrimination.
reword it. Yes, positive discrimination.
Yep.
Okay, that's a terrible phrase.
Now, I did have a horrible story that I had posted, and then I posted an update for. I don't know if y'all saw it. We're dads, and this was really it hit me, and I was angered by it. I don't know if you all saw it or not. Let's see if I can make everybody mad. Oh, ads! No, continue without supporting. Okay, y'all can see
welcome
that, right?
to our world.
Yeah, I never get that. So, this teacher, Madison Bergman, was
you need me to bring your screen up. Hang on. There you go.
What is it not
there you
showing?
Go. No.
I've
You have to have permission.
I saw this. I read this when you posted it. I read it. I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Nope. She was making out with a 5th grader. She is engaged or was engaged to be married later on this month. And I mean, we've seen like these students and these teachers have these relationships, but usually it's like a 16-year-old and a teacher. Or
do you know how old a 5th grader is? My nephew
11,
is in 5th
11.
grade. He is 11.
Yeah, I think this one was 11. Yeah, one of her 11-year-old students.
Not only JJ did she make out with him.
Look, I would not normally advocate for punching a woman in the face. I'd be totally fine with punching this woman in the face.
Dude,
that is horrible.
She was texting this kid and they were talking about stuff, and she was talking about how he touches her and all this and making out, and her freaking husband, her soon to be, her fiance found it and was just like, I'm done. We're done.
They went on vacation. The kid's family went on vacation, took her with them, and that's when she got his number. She moved his desk next to hers so she could touch his leg during class. And she would say, you need to stay after. And all the kids thought this kid was a troublemaker and always in trouble. No, they were just making out.
That's horrible.
I mean, the trauma this kid is going to go through, she's obviously gone, fired. But it's just...
She should be sitting in a cell right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no, she's out on bond.
No, she needs to be.
She's out on bond. $25,000 bond, I think.
She is a public danger.
No mattress.
She's a public danger.
Now, to her credit, if there is any at this point, she broke the relationship off just a couple of days before the dad found out. She said, I have to be the adult here.
Stop stabbing somebody and then pull the knife out. That doesn't help. So, yeah, no,
I have to be the adult here. I'm going to stop stabbing you. I don't want to murder you. Just want to stab you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Lord.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but
can we talk about something fun now?
Yes.
All right, let's go to fun stuff. Let's go to fun stuff because that.
You want to talk about AI, JJ?
Sure. Let's do AI and stuff. You had a couple stories left over from yesterday. You had your video.
I forgot. Okay,
let
me go to the stories.
But let's do the AI stuff first if you want. We got AI. Get this horrible story out of here.
Okay,
get out of here. Get
All
out
right,
of here.
We'll go quick through these AI stories.
Here we go.
The first one.
Beep, bop, boop. This is AI.
We really need to redo that.
Yeah.
Mostly work.
All right, so I got some AI stories for you here. This one's cool. This one's got a cool, some really interesting hypothetical applications if you look at it. But these iron-shelled robo snails form together and create tasks. If I do that, can y'all see? Yeah, it still came up on the screen. All right. See, they land snail. This is what the robo snail looks like. Now you see how it's got the little arch here. Those have suctions on there, so they can actually form a very tight bond, form together, make structures much like ants do, and make appendages and stuff like that.
That is like a window sticker. Like
Voltron?
It was like a little window sticker thing.
It says these are it's a part of Swarm Robotics. And this is not the first, they have all kinds of different swarm robotics that they don't tell us about or you just don't pay attention to. But this is really cool here. Oh, here's the video. I was looking.
Yeah, play a video.
Yeah, okay, here you go. Here's the
I am Iron
8 minutes. Play the fun part.
What are we watching there?
Nasty.
That's
gross.
Inappropriate.
Gross. Those are two snails having a
Wrestling. The wrestling.
The wrestling.
Yeah, relationship.
Okay, hang on.
That's just creepy. That's
All right,
creepy.
yeah.
Those look like giant ticks.
They do look like ticks that are about to burst. And they go and they form, and this one's going to crawl up on this one.
It's Voltron.
And
They're tick Voltrons.
Voltron. Now
This-
this is going to be like,
I'm
all right,
telling
gonna go
you.
up here and do this. Let me just here and
Oh,
now
and they made a
you
bridge. Okay.
can get up here. I don't know
But
why.
how
they
This
did
is
that. If
what
they got suction,
happens
they can
when
just
you
suck
have-
the way up.
Government
Well, how the others can
funding.
get up?
It gets stuck.
They need. I'm hearing minion voices. That it has to be me.
Oh my lord! Paint them yellow.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
little goggles on them.
But now
Banana.
imagine millions of these that are the size of freaking, that are super
Yeah,
freaking.
nanobots. You're talking about big, fat, giant nanobots.
Exactly. All right, I'm not going to
However,
get to your
it
story
looks-
yet. We're going to do this other one first, guys.
All right. Okay.
What
Go
were you gonna
ahead.
say? I'm sorry. I'm
I
mouthy
don't know.
today. You'll have to tell me to shut
I
up.
don't know. You got to make up for yesterday.
This one makes your uncanny valley go crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
But there is a Chinese humanoid factory video that has come out. Watch this.
Play this. Make it big.
Like an 8.
I tried to. Oh, it opened up a different video. Hang on.
Oh.
It opened up a different screen. Let me share the screen instead.
Okay. We got sound. There we go.
你的机器人员工已经开始量产了。
Whoa.
Oh, that one.
That's
that
creepy.
one looked.
That's creepy.
That's radical right there. That is rad. I
Dude.
want a Spider-Man arm suit.
Doc Ock, throw your other 2 arms on and you got it.
So
What?
So there's this, for people that don't know what the uncanny valley is, I know both of y'all do. The uncanny valley is this phenomenon in humans that we have discovered where robots, when they get to a certain level in realism, humans don't like them. They make us very, very, very uncomfortable. But
Right.
then if they keep progressing into more realism, we come up from that valley and we start to accept them. So that's been documented as this new phenomenon and whatnot. And one person postulated one time, and I thought this is wonderful. Why do we have the uncanny valley? Why is that
Okay.
even programmed into us in the first place? Because does that mean at a point sometime in our ancient ancestors' history, they knew there was something that looked human but wasn't human? And that's why they were afraid. And that's why we have this innate weird fear today. That was just this wild speculation. I thought, man, that's a really cool thought, a really cool thought project. Is that the reason why we feel that?
I feel like yeah, but it wasn't like the things that were really close to human. It's just that we have a natural predator avoidance.
I agree.
Listen, we talk about horrible news all the time because everybody reads horrible news, because part of the psychology of humanity is like, oh, there's some bad news. I hope that has nothing to do with me. Let me read that story and make sure. As opposed to like, oh, there's a story about flowers growing. I don't care. That doesn't matter.
I understand that. But what I'm getting at is that we have this innate fear that we've never known before. We've had that fear of being predator prey before, but we've never had this, wow, something looks so human that I know it's not human, but it looks human and I'm kind of afraid of it. And that's what he was asking. Was there something, maybe not robotics, maybe demons, so maybe there was something in the past that looks so human, but we didn't know it was human and we became afraid of it. And that's why we're afraid of these today. That's why we go through this uncanny valley. I just thought it was a very interesting.
I honestly think it's the eyes. They can do all they want with these robots, but those are going to be dead eyes staring vacantly, into whatever.
I do agree with that because I look at people's eyes a lot and you can tell people's intentions normally by their eyes, how they hold their eyes.
Now you can definitely see what they're not see what they're thinking, but you can see if they're listening. You can see if they're, there with you, if they're somewhere else while you're talking.
That's a human thing. I just watched something not too long ago on this particular chimpanzee in this group somewhere over wherever, and they had been studying this group, and there's one really low level male. He's like 7th or 8th down the line, but he has more children than the big males, and they think it's because he's smart. He freaking plays the side, but he's got eyes like humans. He has the whites on the sides of his eyes.
Really?
And most chimps don't, and he does. And they said that chimps, part of their language is eyes. They will sit there and watch the eyes and what the eyes are doing. And that's how they judge. And his eyes, that's what humans do. You can look at somebody's eyes and see what they're doing, like you just said, what they're looking at and stuff. And they said that he could convey his messages a lot better to the females and stuff. Now, his descendants didn't have eyes like that.
Right.
None of his, I don't think any of his descendants any of his children had eyes like that.
It's going to be a
interesting. That is.
Yeah, it'll come back up. Yeah,
that's super interesting.
Really interesting. Yeah, you said that about eyes, and I just watched it. All right, here's your AI story that you will love, JJ.
Why do Japanese people need to make robot people? I don't understand it. Like, they really want to do that. I don't get it.
I know that has been a Japanese thing. JJ, here's your robot dogs armed with AI aimed rifles are undergoing U.S. Marine Special Ops evaluation. There you go. There he is. That's Fido. That's an AI gun on top of him.
Yeah. Like, do we have a video? I want to see a video. Is there any video? No video? Oh,
there's video. You ask, you receive. Oh, it's got a big giant video game controller. That's fake.
Yeah, that's what I think. That looks fake.
That could be anybody shooting.
That's the dog. You guys hush.
That could be anybody shooting. Aim lock.
Listen, I have two suggestions for this company. That's a Chinese one, I think. I'm pretty sure.
That's Russian.
That's an old
Russian to me.
I got two suggestions. One, that controller, you got a lot of range between you and the robot, and humans gotta. So what would be better than having a controller is if you put like a little bit of AI on the robot, so the robot can aim itself. And now this is a new idea. I'm gonna admit I stole it. Suction cups on the butts of the dogs. I think you can take a bunch of robot armed dogs with suction cup butts. And I mean, we could start putting these things all over the place.
Once again, there's these thoughts that don't need to be in the air for other people to grab onto. And you put them.
So I was working on my kid's truck the other day and replacing the thermostat in it. And I went and bought it, came back home and realized I didn't have the O-ring in there. So I went back over to the store and I'm like, dude, I need an O-ring for it. He goes, oh yeah, I forgot. They don't put them in there. And I'm like, why not? You need it. He said, I don't know. I said, what's next? They got to stop putting O-rings in oil filters. And the dude's like, shut up. They are listening. They're going to hear you.
No kidding. Shut up, dude. What the hell? I have to buy an oil filter and a freaking O-ring? No.
2 of them for mine. Yeah. Just stupid. Sorry.
All right. I got a historical artifact. This is I clicked the wrong thing. This is one to show you
I didn't read this. I want to know what this is.
Oh, I knew about this, but when I saw this this thing come up again the other day, I was like, wait a minute. We figured out what this is. An old lady figured out what this was. All right. So this mysterious Roman dodecahedron was found a while ago, and they don't know what it is. They guessed that maybe it had something to do with the stars or navigation or something like that. It's a 12-sided dodecahedron. There's the one that they found. People have made them and found others here. We'll watch this little video. Oh no, that video is not little. It's 5 minutes long. So basically, they're like, we don't know. We're going to go back and we're going.
Is it mystical? Does it have something to do with Atlantis?
Yeah.
What does it do?
This? So let me just. There was a grandma who saw it, and she's like, I know what that is. You make finger gloves with that. That's a knitting device.
Right? That if Martin's
Take it.
So now I'm going to wrap up.
Watch, she's wrapping.
Put the new stitch
she
on.
wraps it and stitches and nooses, and this is what you get.
Now
you get little
Here are
fingers.
5 glove fingers that I made out of a
And
dark
then you
hue
take
yarn.
that and sew it to another part of the
And,
glove, and you've got a glove. So when you got, I don't know, a Roman army that needs mass-produced gloves, and you can't go to China and order them off Temu, maybe you figure out a smart way to knit
How do
quicker.
you use that thing to make? Okay,
Watch that
all,
video. She takes it, goes around. She takes it, goes around. It makes a perfect little fingers, all 5 of them. And all you got to do is take and just sew the glove part on the front and the back, and you've got a glove.
First, that's fascinating. Okay, because you look at that thing and you don't think finger glove. You're
Right.
like, now think about all the other stuff that we look over in pyramids and this and that, and you're like, oh, what could have done it? Could aliens have done it? Could you? We can't imagine. We can't imagine simple things. We are so stupid.
Possible.
There's simple answers.
It's possible too that there's another use for it that we
Very
just
well.
don't know.
Well, they're very well. You're exactly right. There very well could
bet
be
you
another
that thing
use.
was made for
I
gloves.
mean,
But I honestly
sure.
think that thing was made for gloves. Yeah,
It could very well. I mean, how many times have you used a butter knife for a flathead screwdriver?
that's true. That's true.
And
but
it
that
doesn't
was
have
like
to be
perfect.
sharp.
That's like created for, like, I
Well,
mean,
the knife doesn't even have to be sharp.
if I
You're
could
like,
take
oh,
it-
well, this is obviously for this.
yeah, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's obviously to make finger gloves. If you could just make
Okay,
fingers perfectly
on.
like that from this device
Now-
that was used to stars, that would be like.
I have one more thing that I have to say about this. So we now know, you guys know that is for making finger gloves. How much of a dickhead do you think whoever produced this 5-minute History Channel segment feels like when they're going through and they're just juicing up the mystery? What is this mystery fragment of this ancient device? You know, the producer.
Go ahead.
Listen.
Discovery of a Roman dodecahedron is remarkable and unusual because there's not many more than 100 known to exist.
They're so serious. They're bringing in the drama. They're making the mystery. You get to the end of this thing, and I don't even think they even tell you.
No,
Look,
they don't.
I mean,
And that's what I was going to say in that article. They don't tell you at the end of the article, like, it's a mystery and we're going to keep searching. And I'm like, no, it's not a mystery. I've known about this for like 5 years. It's an old lady.
I'm saying we are being tricked all the time. People think that's the History Channel. It's complete garbage.
Dude, do you not think there were jokesters back in the day? Because I've gotten people that have been like, dude, wouldn't it be hilarious? I'm going to bury this with this. And when they dig it up in 5,000 years, they'll be like, what in the hell? There was people like that back then.
Of course there are. That's where crop circles come from. The people with a board and rope at night. This will be hilarious.
Wait a minute. No, most crop circles are fake, but there are some that defy explanation. All right.
Okay.
There are some. I will have to say there are some out there that were not fake. If they are, there's some really organized freaking people.
My wife and I
really
right
quickly.
Don't discount.
You haven't seen some of the videos I've seen.
Okay, all right, that's true. But don't discount the ability of a lot of people to think something would be really funny.
I got a woodworking buddy that's got some Bigfoot shoes. He goes out and makes Bigfoot tracks in the creek all the time.
Yeah.
Just to mess with people.
If I ever sell my house, or when I sell my house, I am totally putting clothes on a skeleton and putting it in some of the hiding spots. We have these inserts in the wall that pull out. And one day someone will find them. And that's just me being a turd. It might even say like hiding seek champion of 1972 or something like that. And just leave it in there.
What you need to get is a safe and a little bit smaller safe and a little bit smaller safe. And you put the nest of them and then hide them in there. And then they'll be like, oh my God, a safe. Oh yes. They're going to crack it open. Like, oh God, another safe.
You have a bobblehead in the last one.
Funko
Pop.
Okay. Can you tell me about this Las Vegas video?
What do you mean Las Vegas video?
You don't have this in here? I got it here.
Oh, nah.
Was that the alien one?
No. No. I put
No?
it in there.
Okay.
We'll skip it.
Okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't that good.
that alien video that went through Las Vegas and whatnot. They've went it through some people. They've ran it through some people, and they all say it's real. Nah.
You're not believing it.
Nah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's something.
Okay.
It's something.
All right.
All right. Song of the day, JJ. These two you may remember. We're down.
They've
We're
all been
doing.
bangers.
We're doing the top 40 U.S. singles for this week, ending in 1995. All three of us were in high school in 1995, and we all remember these two songs. Number 4 was "I Know" by Dion Ferris. I know what you're doing, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then number 3 was "Red Light Special" from TLC. It's that slow jam. Red Light Special. Doom, 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 doo, doo. Do you remember that one?
I'm still stuck on the Dion Ferris. This is great.
These are
Haven't heard
both
this in
great
years.
freaking songs, man. They are really good songs. Forgotten songs from the 90s, and these were big ones. So tomorrow we'll have number 2 and number 1, and you both will love number 1.
I have a CT scan tomorrow,
I'm in
so
it.
I won't be around. I'll be listening, but I won't be around tomorrow.
Okay, well, that's how we do it tomorrow.
I'm having a good time, and you're talking about your CT scan. Dang. God willing, you got a clean bill of health there, sir. My gosh. All right. Hey, can we, before we close out and go, can you mention that you put this story in here about BSG? You gonna put? Did you do that, or was that was that Dave? Dave, did you put this in here?
Oh, BSA. We talked about this yesterday.
BSG. Battlestar Galactica.
Not Boy Scouts of America.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
BSG,
no.
Battlestar Galactica. I just saw this story come up this morning. I thought, awesome. Amazon has just added Battlestar Galactica, where you can go watch it on Prime, and that was one of the best reboots, man. I didn't watch a lot of the old one because I was young. I remember it being on, and we didn't know what was going on. But this one we started watching when it came on in 03, me and my ex-wife.
Man.
And
Dude,
man, it was so freaking good.
From the first, like the first 30 seconds of the first show are so hard. Every episode opens with these reverberating, like beating sounds. It was so good. And it was from a time when we were eager, like, oh, it's Friday, it's 7. We gotta
watch Battlestar Galactica.
Wait for this to come out.
Katie Sackhoff, this was like where she became famous. Huge from this. All of the different. Who was the one guy? It had so many. It had so many good actors in that Battlestar Galactica TV series. Yeah, who was the one guy? The freaking I can't remember his dang name now.
Is it
Kevin Bacon?
Are you talking about the captain? Yeah,
Edward James Olmos.
Oh yeah. Oh my
man,
god.
he does
The dude
such
could
a freaking
chew
great
a
job.
scene and bring drama every scene he was in.
Yes, man, he's such a freaking great actor.
If you haven't seen this show, it is phenomenal.
No,
Except
David,
for
you
the
haven't.
last episode.
It is definitely worth it. It's one of those that, in the early 2000s, we had all those TV shows that the last 3 minutes would leave you going, oh my God, I got to watch it again.
By the way, there was a mini series. There was a 2 or 3 episode mini series that preceded the show. They made the show because of the mini series. So if you never saw the mini series, you should definitely catch that too. Let me see. Can you guys hear that? So they even referenced the old 70s Cylons and Battlestar Galactica stuff. Which was it honored the old show, which was really cool. Man. Okay, this trailer's not fun, but the show was amazing. I think the first show is like 30 seconds, and then the second one is water. So in the first show, they are jumping like every 30 seconds because the Cylons are on them. and they have to keep moving. And the second episode is about water, and you're on a caravan of spaceships, and supplies, resources very limited. You're trying to keep humanity alive, and somebody sabotages the water systems. So you haven't seen this show, Dave? Is that what I'm hearing you say? Dude, this is good. This is a good show, except for the last episode. The last episode sucks. Sorry. All right. Anyway, jokes. We end the show every day with jokes.
Yep. We
Boo,
did
boo,
forget the whole
boo.
Boy Scout story, JJ. We talked about that yesterday.
I know. Look, Boy Scouts.
Oh, well.
Whatever.
No longer exists.
Boy Scout. Yeah, there is no Boy Scouts of America anymore. Okay. Why was the nose feeling sad? No, I asked this yesterday, I think, actually. Sorry about that.
You're actually going page by page, aren't you?
Well, I'm skipping some that are really bad. There's a little bit of
Big
editing
page,
here.
and I just jump all over the place. Chaos.
What did the elevator say to its friend?
Need a lift?
Are you feeling down?
That's good. No, I think I'm coming down with something.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, I'll keep with the elevator thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Sinister, you play guitar, right?
Yeah.
And JJ, I don't know if you mess around with guitar or not, but you want to know one of the most important lessons in learning how to play guitar?
Please.
Stay tuned.
Okay, that's good.
Don't fret.
Nice. Don't fret.
Oh,
Nice.
2. Okay. You got 2. You got a double.
Double.
All right.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull off a double
All right.
with mine.
What do you got, sir?
So, my band director in high school, the year before I joined, they were in Chicago doing something, I forget, concert festival. And they went to the Sears Tower. That's one in Chicago, right?
Yep, Sears Tower.
The elevator got stuck. So she refused to take elevators anymore after that. And so I told her, really just got to start with small steps.
Small steps.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, that could have been a letdown.
Guys, we failed to monitor the Rumble chat. My bad. Brian, I appreciate you watching on Rumble, and I see your comments over there. He does say that net neutrality is a criminal racket. So we got it. That's my fault. We will pay better attention to the Rumble chat. I know. Well,
yeah.
There's no perfect system. It's all not great.
I got something to show you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:00 in the morning to drink coffee, talk news, and solve the problems of the world.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Tune in now to your 2000 show. JJ and Deacon, they're the ones that know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Conspire with us, tomorrow's news today. Oh yeah.